Hi Flosstube, I'm Rachel, Stitchy Rach here on Flosstube and also on Instagram. It is Thursday the 26th of August and this is a YouTube channel about cross stitch. Hi everyone, welcome if it's your first time here and welcome back if you've been here before. This is my YouTube channel where I just talk to you about what I've been stitching this week and sometimes a bit of what's going on in my life, but mainly it's about cross stitch. Sorry I wasn't here last week. Life just got a bit busy. Obviously it's still the summer holidays. We've been doing lots of activities with the children, and then last Thursday I took our dog, so we have a Labrador who's about 1. I took him to some gun dog training, and then by the time I got back I was just absolutely pooped and didn't really have the energy to record a Flosstube, and then I knew we were really busy kind of all the rest of the week, and to be honest I also didn't have an awful lot to show you, so I left it to this week, and I still don't have huge amounts to show you, I think because it's been the summer and we have been doing things, and I've also gone on a bit of a knitting kick, which is weird. That doesn't happen to me. I'll tell you more about that later. So haven't got huge amounts to show. I think this will be quite short. I have 3 whips, no finishes, no FFOs, no haul. I have some stitchy mail to show you, and I have, maybe I'll talk through some plans, but otherwise not a lot. Yeah, feeling quite bummed today, to be honest. I don't usually do world or politics, and I'm not going to get political, but I've just been listening to the news, and there's been, I'm sure you all know when you're watching this, but there's 2 suicide bombings at Afghanistan's Kabul airport this afternoon, and I have just found the last week and a bit of watching people try and get out of Afghanistan just absolutely heartbreaking. I think, as most people have, I'm watching parents and mothers try and get their children out. It's just unbelievably upsetting, and you just feel so grateful that by pure blind luck you were born in a safe Western country, really. So yeah, it's just been extremely upsetting. Sorry, has been very upsetting to watch and see. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Sorry, I'll pull myself together. And we'll talk about some stitching, because that's just a bit easier to deal with sometimes, isn't it? And no, that's a very privileged position, but we are lucky in safe Western countries that we can do that, and sometimes we just need to. So, okay, whips. What have I been working on for the last 3 weeks? So, let's start with my massive alphabet sampler. So last time I saw you, you haven't been stitching it with me, have you? I had finished the S's for Shoes block, and I had just started the R is for Rabbit block, and to be honest, most of the last 2 weeks, that is what I have been plugging away on. So here is the rabbit. How cute is that rabbit? Look at that. So that is a mini finish on that block. That is all done. This is Bouncing Babies ABC by Lucy Heaton. It's available as a PDF download on her website. I'm stitching it for one of my children. I absolutely love it. It reminds me of kind of, I don't know if you're in the US, I don't know if you had these, but in the UK we had kind of, they were called Ladybird books, and they had alphabets, and it kind of reminds me of an old fashioned Ladybird book. So yeah, Bouncing Babies ABC by Lucy Heaton. It's stitched on 36 count Edinburgh linen, just in white. with all the called for DMC, but it is an absolute beast. It is 400 stitches wide, is that right? Yeah, 400 stitches wide by 480 high, and I am nearly halfway. So when I finish the block above R is for rabbit, which is M is for mittens, I will be halfway, and that is psychologically, that is just a massive step for me. So as I say, that's what I've been working on. R is for rabbit, and once I finish that, I just popped it away. The needle minder is by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop because one of my children's shouting me. Bear with me. Sorry about that. When the children go back to school, we might get through one of these without an interruption. Anyway, so once I'd finished R is for rabbit, I put that away. That was only a couple of days ago. I just needed a bit of a break from it because they are, let's say each of those squares is 80 by 80. So they are big motifs, and sometimes you just get to the point where you just need a bit of a rest. So that one's gone away just for a few weeks. I'll talk to you a bit more about that in plans and other things. So that was that one. And then what else did I have out? So as you know, because we're on summer holidays, there hasn't been an awful lot of out and about stitching. But when I take my dog to training, he goes to a specialist gun dog trainer, and so I have to drive a little way. And it's only an hour, but I have to go on the M25, which everyone in the UK will know is extremely busy and unpredictable motorway. So if the traffic's fine, it's only an hour. But if the traffic's dodgy, it can take a lot longer. So I always have to leave a bit of extra time to get there. So I often get there and have, 20 minutes, half an hour to kill in the car. So I did take Spooky Halloween with me the other day, and I'm so nearly there now. I managed to get some of this tree trunk and this long branch done. So not huge amounts of progress on that, but every stitch counts on this one at the moment. And the children go back to school in just under 2 weeks, and I think clubs start, some of them start kind of in 10 days. So out and about stitching will be happening in my life again. I think realistically this one could be finished for the end of September, which then gives me nearly a month to make it into a drum before Halloween, which even with my terrible procrastination on finishing should be enough time. But it's so exciting to see this coming together. Obviously I've got that glow in the dark thread to do. Let me show you the whole design. This is Spooky Halloween. So this is what the whole design looks like. So obviously I do still have this big moon. There is a lot of stitching in that. But this is Spooky Halloween by Doreen Jones. It's exclusive to Lakeside Needlecraft. It was initially a SAL, but now you can get it as a PDF on their website. And I think this is fabulous. I am not stitching it on the called for fabric. I am stitching it on 32 count linen in Ember by Crafty Kitten Fabrics with the called for DMC. I just think it's really, really fun. I will link the Crafty Kitten down below. She is taking a break at the moment, but I think she's coming back in September. I have no inside information, that's just what's on her website. But I'll link it anyway, and you can have a look at the beautiful fabric she dyes. So that was the second thing. I put a few stitches in on. And so then once I had finished the R is for rabbit block on the alphabet, that was, when did I finish that? Tuesday morning, I think. I got up on Tuesday morning, and I don't usually stitch in the morning, but just finished a book the day before, and I often read in the morning, and I thought, no, I don't read in the morning on a school day because I have to be out of bed and packing snack boxes and finding reading books and uniform and encouraging children to put uniform on and eat breakfast and then find their shoes. So, you know, these are holiday morning activities. But yeah, so I'd finished my book. I thought I'll go and get that R is for Rabbit block done because there wasn't much. And then yesterday morning and this morning, I also did some stitching as well. But once I'd put that alphabet away, it's kind of a week of August left. I thought, what am I going to do? And I wasn't feeling it to pull the Peanuts Afghan out again. I know that needs some more attention, but I just needed a break from that. So I had a look at my WIPGO and my WIPGO board. WIPGO is a bingo style challenge run by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. If you want more information about it, head over to her channel. I also give more information, I think, in one of my other videos, so go and have a look. But anyway, it's basically a bingo challenge relating to stitching, and you choose your own goals for the year. And one of my goals on there that hasn't been called yet, and I haven't done, was to do a week stitching on Modern Folk Embroidery's Real Comfort, a Jane Austen sampler. And given I had a week, I thought, great, I'll do that, even though it hasn't been called, and I'll get it crossed off so that when it does get called, I have a bit of free time that month, and that might be helpful. I'll explain why shortly. So I started this for Stitch Mania in 2020. Felt appropriate in 2020. And I think I started it on the first day of May. And I think it had a tiny bit of love another day last year. And then I stitched on it again on its birthday. So the 1st of May this year for Stitch Mania. And then nothing else. So it's maybe had, before this week, 4 days stitching max. I think probably only 3. Anyway, so it has now had another 2 days. And we're here. And I'm building houses. And it is stitching up quite nicely. So if you want to see where this was before, if you're on Instagram, you can go over to my Instagram at StitchyRach, and in my highlights I have a Stitch Mania highlight, and it will show you on each day where I started and where I got to. And this is the first day of May, so you only actually have to watch the first bit of the highlight. But I had done this tree in the middle, and I'd started this first house, but that wasn't finished. So in the last 2 days I managed to finish that house and do the house next to it and come across to the edge. So that's as wide as the piece is going to be. That's the edge of the piece there. This is stitched on 40 count antique white linen by Zweigart, with its Silks for You, and I think it's PR011. And I can't be more specific than I think, because I can't go and check it anywhere, because when I got my hanks of silk, they were all in individual bags, and one of my children yanked them all out and I just had the bag. So I'm pretty sure it's 011, PR011 from Silks for You, but I can't promise because it could have been put back in the wrong bag. So I'm really pleased with that. So I'm going to give this one until the end of the month. So, you know, nearly a week. I think I'll see some real progress on that. So I am super duper excited about that. It's really nice to get some progress on these pieces. You know, as you can see, it's not, you know, I've done this house and this house, so there's not much left, she says optimistically. But I do feel like those houses are a big chunk of the stitching. But, oh, we're always over optimistic as stitchers, aren't we? Oh, it's just this bit. Oh, it's just that bit. Anyway, that's what I have been doing this week. And then the other thing I've been doing this week is, oh, sorry, I'll just show you this project bag before I tell you about that. This project bag is super cool. It is from my friend Sarah at Penelope's Pocket, and I will link her below. But look at that, it was a Pride and Prejudice bag. So it just had to be done. And you can see all the different houses on there. Got kind of Pemberley and Netherfield. I think the fabric was called something like Netherfield Park is let at last. And you've got, is this one meant to be Rosings here? Because this one's clearly Pemberley. No, yeah, this one's clearly Pemberley. I think this is meant to be Netherfield. And then this is, oh, what's the Bennett's house? Longbourn. That's meant to be Longbourn there. But don't quote me on any of that. And then the inside is this really cool dancing. So yeah, go check out. I know she doesn't have any of these left, but she does do lots and lots of lovely project bags. So go and check out Penelope's Pocket. Yeah, love that. Right, and the other thing I've been doing is knitting. So some point last week, I just had this massive urge to knit, which never happens to me. I did learn as a child. My mum's quite a keen knitter, but I never really got bitten by the bug. And then I've had numerous abortive attempts at learning to knit. So before I had children, I went to a few classes, and then last year I was like, I'm gonna knit this year. And I knitted a cowl, and then that kind of killed it off. I started a hat for one of my children. And yeah, I got most of it done. Anyway, suddenly last week, oh, and then I started a knitted pumpkin. Last week I suddenly got this massive urge to knit. So I've nearly finished the knitted pumpkin. I just need to stuff it. And as you know, FFOing is my super duper strength. I've nearly finished the hat I started for one of my children. So I've stitched it all up. It now looks like a hat. You could wear it as a hat. But it's meant to have a pom-pom on the top and then some little embroidered bits around it, which I need to do. Another one in the FFO pile to be done. And then I cast on a pair of wrist warmers that I bought in a peak of enthusiasm kind of this time last year, October last year. And I thought, yeah, I'll stitch myself some wrist warmers. And then they just sat in the bag. But I've started them. I've cast them on. Now, haven't brought any of that with me to show you because this is Flosstube, it's cross stitch. I don't know if any of you are interested in seeing knitting, and I don't intend this to become a knitting channel, but if when I have a bit of knitting you would like to see it, just let me know in the comments. Or if you definitely don't want to see it, let me know in the comments, because obviously I don't want to waste my time recording things that no one's interested in. So I didn't bring it this week, but if you would like to see it next week, let me know and I'll do a little knitting segment. Okay, so that's that. Let's do plans next. So September is my, so I've told you what I'm doing for the rest of August. September is my birthday month. Hurrah! My birthday's quite near, at the beginning of September, and I'm going to have a birthday new start. So during the first weekend of September, I won't be doing Blackbird weekend because it is that's my birthday weekend, and instead I will be starting Garden Vegetables by Cathy Barrack. I wanted to start this one for a long time. This was nearly a birthday new start a couple of years ago. I have shown this before and talked about this, but that's what I'm going to start for my birthday. I have fully kitted it up now. I've got all my MPSs, my needlepoint silks. I'm going to do it in the called for silks on my super cool thread drops from the great Floss drop trade, brainchild of Michelle, Momma Loves You GB. So I'm super excited about that. They're all there. And I have now got my fabric as well. This came out of my stash. It's a piece of 36 count Tobias from Seraphim Fabrics, and I bought that at Peakside Needleworks. So that's showing quite true actually. It is kind of a orangey brown. It's more of a caramelly brown than an earth brown. But I'm not sure the light's doing much favour to that thread palette. Let's see if I can spread them out a bit to show you. But I think that's going to look super. I did do a floss toss on a few pieces of neutral that I had in my stash and decided this one looked the best. So trust me, even if the camera is not doing this a whole world of justice, I think it's gonna look great. Yeah, it's kind of making everything look quite drab. I wonder if I turn the light on. Hold on. Put big light on. There we go. Big light on. I'm not taking the mick out of Northerners. I am actually Northern. I've just been living in the South for a long time, and you can't always tell. I'm not sure that's helped really, has it? Putting the big light on. Anyway, it's going to look fab. So if you would like to join in and start something for my birthday, please do. Please join in along. I'm sure my birthday's not very exciting to anyone but me really, but yeah, if you would like to join along, anything garden related, anything Cathy Barrack related, anything you think I'd like, I'm going to use hashtag Rachel's Garden Birthday Sale. There you go, Rachel's Garden Birthday Sale. So I'll probably give that a few days at the beginning of September, and then like all my other birthday starts, it will go and languish, forgotten, and I was going to say unloved. Not unloved, just time poor. This is in a House of Stitch and Stash project bag by Rika King. This is from her Project Bag of the Month club. I'll link her below. I don't think the club's open to new members, but if you do get a chance to get your hands on one of these bags, they're fab. Great carry handle. Lovely. There we go. And then the other part of my plans is that I am going to be joining Michelle Bendy, Erin 2 Martini Stitcher and Alicia Resist Stitch for the marathon for MMIW during September and October. So this is a fundraising and awareness raising campaign for murdered and missing Indigenous women in the US. They are supporting a charity, and I have pledged 100 hours of stitching on one piece to help raise awareness, and you can sponsor our stitching. You can find the link either in Erin 2 Martini Stitcher's bio on Instagram, or I will try and link the link below, and any donation is very well received. There's links to the charities we're supporting that advocate for Indigenous women, because they are disproportionately murdered and attacked compared to other parts of the female population. So I think, you know, in a week where, well, humanity has been somewhat lacking, hasn't it? We need to try and stand up for women in other parts of the world. So do go and have a look at that. If you can donate financially, that's lovely. If you want to donate your time and stitch, you can sign up for that as well. Or if you want to get involved in another way, if you reach out to Michelle or Erin or Alicia, they'd be really happy to hear from you. So I'll put all that in, and I have pledged my 100 hours on my alphabet sampler. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of that in September and October. And I think 100 hours should be doable for me. I usually stitch kind of 2 or more hours a day. So yeah, I think 100 hours should be realistic, and I'd like to get it in on that piece. But don't worry, my Flosstube won't be all that, because obviously my out and about stitching will be recommencing, and hopefully you'll enjoy seeing what I'm stitching sat in my car. Obviously I won't be sat in my car doing this, but when I sit in my car, what I stitch. I think I worked out that 5 days of the week I'll have out and about stitching. So should be some really good progress there. Right, and then finally, I have no haul, been super good. So finally, the last thing I have to show you is my floss drop trades from the hashtag The Great Floss Drop Trade. This was the lovely Michelle from Momma Loves You GB's idea. So, and that's my card for Michelle. So that's one of the first ones I got there. And then I got, and I have 25 of each of these cards that I'm showing you. But if you're not familiar with the Great Floss Drop Great Floss Drop Trade, then the idea is that you send your floss drops, but then you also send another card that can be kept, and it has your details on it. So there you go, Michelle at Momma Loves You GB, Cardigan, Wales. And that way we can all just keep track of where we got our cards from. So that's the first one. As I say, I've got 25 of all of these. And then these two came from Anna in Belgium. She is on Instagram at Not Sock in Sight. So go follow her. They're so cool. Really like those. This one is from the UK. This is from Sarah. Sarah is cross underscore at cross CRSS underscore stitch STCH underscore SJW. I'll put all their ats in the description box below. So that came from Leighton Buzzard. I love him. He's cool, isn't he? I think Michelle on her channel at the weekend, because I know she met Sarah at the Patchwork Rabbit last weekend because they had an open day, which I couldn't make, and I was not at all bothered. Not at all. Not jealous in the slightest. But I know she said that this is a portrait Sarah owns, and they'd given him a name, and I can't remember what that name was. So go and watch Michelle, Momma Loves You GB, which I'm sure you already have, and hear more about this guy, because it was quite funny. This one has come from Tennessee in the US. This is Ramona, and I think she put in a little note. What is her, hold on, what's her Instagram name? Because I haven't got it on here. Bear with me, sorry. I'm just going to have a quick look on Instagram and find Ramona's name for you. Ramona is at Ramon AWB. So that's Ramona's. I think she said her family own this sampler in the note she sent to me. So that's cool. And then finally, this is from Emma. This is from Ohio. And she is at Rising MJ. So REISINGMJ. But again, I'll link her below. So they're the ones I've got so far. I have a couple more packages to send out. I'm waiting for a few of my swaps to arrive, but it's super fun. So if you haven't already jumped on the hashtag The Great Floss Drop Trade, I would really encourage you to do so. Really fun chatting to people and receiving parcels from envelopes from all over the place. Really enjoying doing that. So there we go. That is all I have got for this week. Sorry I got a bit emosh at the start. Yeah. One more week. I think one more week of this arrangement. And then the children will be back at school and I can move back downstairs and hopefully we can get it all done in one go without anyone yelling, "Mummy, mummy, mummy, mummy." It's got to that point in the summer holidays where everyone's just a bit, and everyone is just bickering and they're too tired because we've been doing stuff, but then you don't do stuff and then they bicker and it's people need to be back in the routine and back to school. So back to school, back to school. Only 10 days. Right, I'm going to say goodbye to all. I have every intention of seeing you next week. But, you know, life at the moment. So if I don't, I will see you the week after. But I should be back next week. In the meantime, have a great week, Stitchers. Bye.